Hello, I am Raymond Kelly. Welcome to my video. Introducing online course that I'm offering, but also share some insight on creating supply chain resiliency and kind of addressing the burning platform that COVID-19 presented a lot of companies. Right. So again, this is about creating supply chain resiliency. What I'll cover is really assessing your current capabilities, cultivating responsive manufacturing, and optimizing inventory levels. And what my role is, as I help manufacturing companies prepare for uncertainties. All right. Whoops. Um, So I just said helping manufacturing companies prepare for uncertainties. Creating supply chain resiliency. As they said. So really, I mean, the first thing to do is to assess your current capabilities, identify where the opportunities are, and then what you want to do is cultivate responsive manufacturing. And then, based on that, then you can optimize your inventory levels. And the real goal, I mean, simply put, is to get better, quicker, and do it at less costs. Okay, so this video is really just going to be an introduction to creating supply chain resiliency. There's quite a bit of content in here, that I won't have time to fully cover, but there's content that you might find very useful. So if you're interested, you can just click down below and subscribe, and I will send you a copy of the slides. No obligation. Just click and subscribe if you think these slides will be helpful for you. Okay. So the phrase the burning platform is pretty simple. It refers to a very specific pain message that relays a sense of urgency. And the burning platform encourages companies to adopt a radical change strategy. So really, just some of that, the burning platform. One of the main thing is it just shows a sense of urgency, and it really is talking about a radical change, not just necessarily small incremental changes. So COVID-19, so I mean, the question is, was COVID-19 a burning platform for you and your company? Um, did it reveal vulnerabilities in your company's supply chain? And I don't know about your company, but for many companies, it did. It really showed the vulnerabilities, and it hit them pretty hard. So the COVID-19 was actually, called a black swan. And the black swan is a metaphor that describes an event that comes as a surprise. It's something you didn't expect. It happens, and it is actually has a major effect. Um, so the ancient saying was presumed that black swans did not exist. Then all of a sudden they found black swans in the wild. So a huge surprise, to the naysayers. Okay, so that's what the COVID-19 was. It was something that happened that nobody really thought would ever happen, not to the impact it had on the global economy and global supply chain. So the black swan was, something that nobody really was prepared for. Now, the COVID pandemic, as it says, it was a black swan, which means it happens very rarely. But what we do have is the VUCA, which happens every day, we have to deal with as manufacturers in the supply chain. The VUCA is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So the VUCA was a concept that came out during the Cold War between U.S. and the Soviet Union back in 1987, and it's just saying, really talking about the uncertainties that could come from the Cold War. All right. So, we might not have a black swan in, our lifetime, again, hopefully. But, I've just, maybe, the black swan has been used. Maybe the next one might be the Bigfoot, that happens. Um, so anyway, VUCA's effects on the supply chain. Uh, Volatility is probably one of the biggest issues that arise, and it really hits the supply chain hard in demand variability. Okay, so this is something you got to account for in your manufacturing operations and also in your inventory holdings. Next one is uncertainty. So uncertainty on your supply chain really hits hard in the area of supply uncertainties. And supply can be internal or external. So you could have possible issues with the quality, being delivered on time, and the quantity, having the right quantity at the right place at the right time. Uh, Complexity. Complexity is something that, a lot of times that is an issue that, companies create for themselves, by, lack of standardization, proliferation of, SKUs, particularly the proliferation of, end items. You also, you have a lot of different, customizations you offer, and they just add more complexity and more noise to your operation, and don't really give you the revenue that you might anticipate. Then the last one, ambiguity. One thing about ambiguity, what I guess to me to sum it up is kind of not knowing what we don't know. So not knowing what we don't know. All right. So, then that's the reason we need to create mitigation plans, or, look at the, assess what risk we have to our supply chain and then to our business continuity plan, and see what countermeasures need to be put into place. All right. And, again, the ones that really hit hardest on really a daily basis is the volatility or demand variability and the uncertainties we have in internal and external supplies. So supply chain resiliency. So what is supply chain? And I think most of you probably understand what your supply chain is. But during the pandemic, COVID pandemic, what really hit companies hard is these tier one and tier two suppliers. And particularly the tier two suppliers. This is an area where most companies did not have a lot of visibility to what is going on with the tier two suppliers, and a lot of companies didn't even know where their tier two suppliers were. I mean, you're not going to know where all your tier two suppliers are, but the critical ones, the ones that are providing your high demand items to tier one, you definitely need to be aware of them and proactive in what's going on there. So the tier two really hurt a lot of companies during the pandemic, and particularly I think the pharmaceutical and medical device companies were hurt a lot by they didn't know where the tier two suppliers were, and then majority of tier two suppliers were in developing countries in Asia or in China, and during the pandemic they were really just cut off. Okay. So how what do we mean by supply chain resiliency? So supply chain resilience is the capacity of supply chain to persist, adapt, and to transform in the face of change. So when a change happens, how can you react to it, and overcome it? All right. So so how do we create sustainable supply chain resiliency? Really, okay. One is definitely understanding what your current ways of working, or your current capabilities. Cultivating responsive manufacturing based on your current capabilities and improving your current capabilities, and then optimizing the inventory levels to provide the customer service levels that you want at the right costs. All right. So just I'm gonna hit this a little bit high. Hit this at a high level. Cultivating the responsive manufacturing and optimizing inventory levels. So responsive manufacturing overview. Responsive manufacturing is deployment of methodology that enables manufacturers to address uncertainties and stay competitive. It's all about being competitive, right? Uh, so one of the key issues to start with on responsive manufacturing is differentiating manufacturing strategy. You know, uh, be able to, conceivably run every part, every interval. Um, so you got your A items, and your B, and your C items, and then how often you manufacture those during the cycle and everything, or your interval. Uh, Now, I won't cover that in detail today in this video, just because introduction. But during the training sessions, I will go into detail on how to develop a strategy based on the ABC. Productivity improvements, you're definitely reducing cycle time, eliminating non-value added activities. Several ways to do that: digitalization, cellular manufacturing, minimum one-piece flow, pull replenishment, workplace organization. And a lot of this falls under the umbrella of the Industry 4.0, the industrial Internet of Things, the smart manufacturing concepts. Embed manufacturing flexibility, so build flexibility into your manufacturing, particularly on your how you can change over products quickly, having a little bit extra capacity planned, etc. And then point of use manufacturing, where you can make sure you got very smooth, efficient flow, and eliminate what handle doesn't need to be there. If you can deliver straight to point of use and never touch it again, then that's the best thing. On the inventory strategy side, again, it starts off with differentiation. You don't want to you manage your A's the same way you manage your C's. Your A's being your high volume. Now, in module one of the training, I really get into detail about differentiation and everything. And actually, today I have a slide that kind of covers the evolution of differentiation. Just-in-time inventory is having the right amount of inventory, at the right place at the right time. Integrated safety stock. This is the key here. Is based on statistics and uncertainties, demand volatility, and your supply uncertainties. Min-max inventory management system. That's to me is one of the best systems you can do, and it's one of the easiest. But it's definitely you have to get into the mathematics and science of it to really make it efficient. So anyway, I'll cover this in the online training, and I'll discuss one of my favorite systems, which is a K-min K-max system. Um, Data analytics is, every decision we make should be data driven and not, opinion driven. So the structure to assess and improve, so how to create supply chain resiliency. There's five steps or phases that we'll go through: discovery, baseline, line, analyze, improve, and sustain. During discovery, we want to identify, where the improvement opportunities are. During the baseline, we want to quantify, put some numbers with that, and actually have a baseline so we can, measure improvement. Analyze is, kind of really dig into what can be improved. Improve to look at what concepts to use to improve. And then sustain is, once we make a change, how do we, guarantee that we, continuous performance. Okay, so getting, a little bit into the phases, discovery. One of the key tools that I'll teach during the training on discovery is doing a value stream map. And one of the things about the value stream map as we go through it and construct it is, we'll create a discovery parking lot. And what this does, what it is that, as we create the value stream map of a cross-functional team of stakeholders, issues will pop up and opportunities will pop up. So we'll start capturing those, and this kind of be, help us leapfrog frog into, identifying opportunities for improvement. So we create a value stream current state map. Just shows all the, shows the material production and information flows. Then we get to the baselines, and then this is where we start quantifying. So, one of the key issues that we want to quantify, is the inventory. So the inventory, definitely like the days on hand. It tells you a lot about the health of your operation, your supply chain operations. And here just shows, again, breaking it down into the different classes, looking at the number of parts, etc. And then actually, creates a visualization here that just shows, that, how, your demand flattens out, with a lot of your SKUs. Baseline, so sourcing and procurement. So here we'll look at what your a source and procurement analysis, looking at suppliers, looking at number of POs, looking at non-articles. Anyway, it's just a detailed analysis of your current sourcing and procurement practices. Then one of the key tools that we use is a tool that I've definitely kind of trademarked over my career, the RBWA, which is routing by walking around. And the basic objective of the RBWA methodology is mapping the current ways of doing business, but it's also mapping, but also quantifying. So, we've done the value stream map during the discovery phase, and then during the baseline, we want to go to the Gemba and to validate it. So that's that's one of the great things about the RBWA. It allows us to validate and also gather more data. So the Gemba, it's a Japanese word, comes from the Toyota production system. And it just means where the action is. So going to the Gemba to validate, it just means you go to the workplace to validate the value stream and collect more data. So during when we do the RBWA, we denote the workstation activities, workstation cycle times, travel distances, and inventories and queues. So it gives you a real good, quantification of the operations. Data collection, so you just see, value stream, you add the different, you got your process box, which is, what happens, description, data box, that you can add whatever you want to in there, but typically you have like your cycle time, changeover time, number of shifts, number of operators, amount of scrap, you could have yields, whatever. You can put whatever data in there that's pertinent to your operations. And then at the bottom, you'll actually come up with a timeline, which shows the total process lead time from material being ordered from the supplier to being delivered to the customer. I mean, you can break the scope down to whatever you want to. The scope could just be inside your factory, or it could be the total supply chain. It's really just how you define the scope to start with. And then also on this we'll denote the value added versus non-value added time. So when we get into value added, non-value added, and one of the things we'll go through is the 7 deadly ways. These actually came out of the Toyota production systems, but these are definitely really killers to responsive manufacturing. So transportation, inventory, motion, weight, overproduction, overprocessing, and defects. Also during the RBWA, one of the great things that we can create is a spaghetti diagram, which shows the flow of the product throughout the process. And definitely you can see it. This will definitely be identifies opportunities for improvement. The next phase we get into is analyze. So now we got a baseline established. So now we can take over the parking lot from the discovery. So what can be improved. So then we want to start driving down and identifying where some of our issues. What are the drivers of some of our issues? So some of the tools that we use. is the fishbone cause and effect diagram. Is a great tool brainstorming with your stakeholders. Um, Same with the FMEA, failure mode and effect analysis. Great brainstorming. Really, can dig down and actually start putting a priority on the issues. And then the five whys is actually you probably would use the five whys in conjunction with a fishbone and failure mode to drive down a little bit more. All these tools are very versatile, but they're very most often are underutilized. But during the training, I will definitely show you how to really to get a full benefit out of these tools, and actually create some very good engagement with your team. All right. Whoops. So then, as we start identifying opportunities, we'll show these as Kaizen bursts on the value stream map. So this is just kind of really like all the opportunities we identified. Then we start looking at the benefit and effort. So what's the benefit to gain by each opportunity, versus how much effort it takes to do it. Okay. Then we start, drilling down a little bit heavier into the inventory. This is one of my favorite analytical tools, triple play chart. Uh, Probably a tool you never heard of before. It's one that kind of hallmark and during my career. Uh, but really what we're doing, we're looking at synchronization of inventory production and demand. All right. Then we're getting into analyzing the process lead time, and this is really driven by Little's law, which is the process lead time equals to the WIP divided by the exit rate. All right. So and then to control this, we'll look at a solution which is standardized WIP and WIP caps. And when we get to the sustain part of this presentation, I'll show you some visuals on some great WIP cap examples. Oops. So, doing a SWOT analysis of your supply chain, identifying, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is good. It can also help you understand, where you want to go and what your future state should be looking like. So you get to improve. Now we kind of identified some opportunities for improvement, but how do we improve it? Okay. So one thing that we'll rely on a lot is the OpEx building blocks, and these definitely prepare you for manufacturing uncertainties. We'll look at flow, standards, and culture, and then the foundation of these building blocks are differentiation, which I'll get into shortly. And then the sustainment and everything definitely is continuous improvement, and then as we talked about during the supply chain resiliency and during the pandemic, is having that supply chain transparencies, all the way back to the tier 2 suppliers. Okay, so how improving inventory, the goal in inventory is pretty simple. All right, it's the right atoms, wow, at the right quantity, at the right place, at the right time. So, what you want to do is statistically size your inventory based on the replenishment lead time, historical, daily demand. You look at the demand volatility, so you'll calculate your standard deviation, and then you'll do your safety stock, statistically based on the desired customer service level. And one of the mantras I have used myself is call myself a inventory whisperer, because I think the whispering here is actually not really listening but looking at the data, and you can learn so much by analyzing the data and the flow. Really identify the improvement opportunities. So the inventory data is a key spot, key area to analyze and really see the health of your organization. So then we get into improving inventory, which is a lot of it falls under differentiation, the ABC, and particularly reducing the lead times for the A's, so you can replenish them frequently. Pull replenishment should be the base of most systems. Get away from forecasts and really, producing what's been consumed by demand. Don't just have just-in-time inventory. Then, during the training, we'll get into each one of these in detail. I'll hit a few of them here in the next slides, but got a lot of detail. Level of production, this is, the every product, every interval. This is going into the ABC differentiation, having, different lead times. Also get into using Hijunka box to, to level load and to, prioritize the, your production for the day. Uh, Yamazumi, we'll get into the line balancing, identifying where the opportunities are. One of the key ones for responsive manufacturing, the single minute is change of die. So this is how fast you can set up and change over. So you can create a lot of flexibilities. Just want to say, based on my experience, this technique, we can almost always reduce the changeover time by at least 40%. Do have success where, like for a white goods manufacturer on their painting line, we actually reduced the changeover times by 97%. So a lot of times, to do these changes, just kind of understand where to assess, and sometimes have a taking a different perspective as you look at it. Okay, so I talked a lot about differentiation so far. So here we get into the Pareto and evolution. So this started in the circa 1890. Pareto, an Italian economist, he was surprised when he was doing analysis. He found out that 80% of the land was owned by 20% of the people. So he thought that that ratio was quite staggering. And then he was also one of his hobby was he liked gardening. So then he observed that in his his garden that 20% of the pods actually produce 80% of the peas. All right. So then based on these two findings here about the ratio, then he started doing more research, and then actually came out with the Pareto principle, but probably more commonly known as the 80-20 rule. Right. So anyway, this is in the 1890s. About 50 years later, uh, a American engineer, Dr. Joseph Duran, he's considered the father of total quality management. So he was looking at what Pareto did, and he was saying, "Man, this guy did some great stuff," but then he translated it slightly different. Yeah. So he translated into the vital few versus the the trivial many. So the 20% being the vital few, and 80% being the trivial many. So and then it kind of spin out that you need to put 20% of your effort can actually get you 80% of your results. If you're focusing on the vital few and trivial many. Now, so this also got kind of translated, not kind of translated, got translated into the manufacturing supply chain arena as being an ABC differentiation. All right. So this is what we'll talk about a lot, and when we get into the course material, then we cover this in quite a detail. But simply put, your A's or your high volumes, often called the runners. B's your medium volume, often called repeaters, and C's are low volume, and they're the strangers you don't see quite as often in your supply chain demand. Right. So that's the ABC. That's the evolution. How to apply this will be covered in detail, throughout the online training. Okay. And in module one of the training, we actually just really focus on how to do the differentiation, and I actually share exercise with you to actually go through and how to actually do an ABC differentiation in an Excel spreadsheet. Continuous improvement, just a couple things that we'll highlight during the training is couple of methodologies. One is the Kaizen. Kaizen came out of the Toyota production system, and then the workout, which came out of GE under the leadership of Jack Welch. And the workout just simply means is to take work out of the process. Okay. Then we'll cover supply chain transparency. And what I'll do in this during the online training is actually I'll share quite a few proof of concepts of the results that can be attained. Then we get finally get into the sustains. How do we guarantee performance? Three key elements that we'll cover is visual management, standardized work, excuse me, and layer audit. So so here's just an example of a value stream map board. We use it for continuous improvement. And I mean making sure you're meeting your metrics. Um, then we got at the top here, we got cellular manufacturing. They got the standard works on display. Then we'll go through how to do a layer audit. And this layer audit is not a quality audit or whatever. This is actually, a kind of it's a day-to-day deal that be peer-to-peer audits or line, co-worker to co-worker type audits, different lines. But anyways, it's really done. It's not to find issues so much. It's to find opportunities for sustainment, particularly making sure that standardized work is in place and is right and people are following it. Yeah, a couple things on visual management. One of the key things on visual management is making sure that your production rate is meeting the customer requirements. So, this showing here these pictures of hour by hour board, a great tool, simple tool. So it's tracking your production output versus the tack rate. We talked about, the whip cap, having standardized whip. Here's some pictures of the, whip cap. And again, during the online training, on-demand training, we'll go through this and how to, size these, etc. But this is showing a whip cap, and whip cap, what it stands for is whip capacity, or having a maximum capacity. So it's establishing a limit of how much whip you can have in an area. And then when this will go back to Little's Law and to your process lead time. Okay, so how to create supply chain resiliency. So giving you a chance to act now. As I said, this video is only a sampling of tools and methodologies that I'll show during the training. The next few slides, I will go kind of into the commercial details of the online training. But if you still have questions, you're not ready to jump in on the training just yet. You want to talk about it, you can click the button below and schedule a call. And as I said before, you want just a copy of these slides to look at, think about. Just hit subscribe below, and I'll be happy to send them to you. All right. So the 6 modules, and the kind of key here is definitely don't forget is a remote support. But the modules are going to be set up in 6 modules. The first one being we'll talk about COVID burning platform. Really, what we're getting here is the risk mitigation, how to identify where the real vulnerabilities are in your supply chain. Then we'll get into differentiation because that's really a base for everything. Then we'll go through the different discovery, baseline, analyze, improve, and sustain. So each module will be about an hour and a half, 3 hours. Uh, and then, so every week there'll be a link come out for the next module, be sent to you, and also they'll have a link download the presentation material. And the reason I'm doing this way, allow the week in there, because you get concepts and stuff out of the training. But I mean, I'm hoping you'll have a opportunity to at least think about it, try it out, and see how it applies to your operation. And then because during that week, I'll give you unlimited email consultation. So here's my email right here. You'll be given to several points. So you can contact me as needed. Okay. So during the 6 weeks, you can contact me as much as you need to via email, with no additional cost. All right. As part of the remote, the support here is that I'm guarantee you a 1 hour, coaching session, with one-on-one or a group. So, that's going to be the 1 hour. This is actually guaranteed. And we'll have a way for you to schedule it at your convenience. But after doing this, I really thought about it. I said, I really want you guys to, everybody who takes this course to be successful. I mean, if you're successful, it makes me successful. Uh, so I actually going to offer ad hoc remote coaching sessions throughout. So anytime, during the 6 weeks that you feel like you need more support, want to just discuss something, you'll have a link to schedule, and all of this is included in the course setup costs. Okay. Uh, because I want to, I really, like I said, I want to ensure your success. So I want to make sure that you have access to, to me, and I can use my experience to, to help you out. Uh, so I think the course and the six modules and everything is valuable and is really good. But I really truthfully think that if you take to that and then kind of think about how to apply it, then you're able to email me or set up a one-on-one or whatever a group session. That's going to give you a lot more benefit. Yeah. So, in particular, why this course? This course is, this is not another, lean awareness course. This is really I'm showing you how to create a how-to roadmap. Okay. Now, it definitely will have a linkage to a lot of lean thinking. I mean, I prefer to think about it being on, your goal to operational excellence. So the course objective is to demonstrate strategies that impact the responsiveness of your supply, internal, external, and aligns the inventory management strategy that helps you optimize your inventory holdings while maximizing customer service and performance. That's what you want to do. You do that, you accomplish that at a high level, then you're going to be a very competitive, company. Uh, and if we do all this, and when you do all this, you definitely, automatically you're going to be reducing your operating expenses. So, key is, it's about assessing your current state, establishing a desired future state, and then creating a roadmap to close that gap. So, this is going, after this course, you will have the skills, to do data-driven problem-solving skills. So, this training, that's what really is what this training's about, is to be able to, to assess where you are and then use data-driven, tools and methodologies to, drive improvement. So you'll walk away from this course with data-driven problem-solving skills that you can apply throughout your organization. All right, so just to sum it up again, why one-on-one? A how-to course, 1 week between modules, emails and one-on-one calls, the 1 hour session guarantee, and then but let's say after this course, after 6 weeks, everything you need during the 6 weeks is covered in the price I'll share with you shortly. But after that, if you need more support, you don't have to worry about it. You can, book additional, either remote or even, on-site coaching, and because you took the course, it'll be done at a reduced rate, drastically reduced rate. Okay, so this course, about this course, differentiating this course versus any other might be available, is that the assessment tools and methodologies that will be taught are practices employed by myself and my colleagues for establishing current state operating for clients and employers and how to improve. Yeah. So this is getting away from theoretical, and this is actually the tools that I use. Most of the analytical tools and methodologies were developed by me and my colleagues, and have evolved from industrial experiences into our coaching abilities. Right. So kind of said about the course and everything, but now get into just a little bit about who I am. Right. So first off, 20 years as an industrial practitioner. My resume has got a few areas I highlight. Greenfield startup and manufacturing facility in rural China. Managed technology and knowledge transfers to manufacturing sites in, Malaysia, Thailand, Poland, and Northern Ireland. Uh, I lead in a American company, Filipino site, to receive the AME Manufacturing Excellence Award. Quite an achievement for a struggling site. And also they left a culture there that they could drive 3 million year-on-year savings. Lean Sensei for a business transformation project for OEM that actually achieved annualized savings in 10 million after just a short 9-month project. Uh, Also, I served as Director of Operational Excellence at a Fortune 25 healthcare services slash medical device manufacturer, and kind of changed the culture at this site and actually got it to where they were achieving 4 million year-on-year savings. All right. So I am, an industrialist and a consultant. Uh, I think one of the key things that I bring to the table is my perspective. So this is a perspective that created from, a combination of 20 years as a practitioner, industrial practitioner, 15 years in the strategy and operation consultancy. Kind of one of the neat things I think is actually this is spread over 23 countries. So I got, quite a very different, relationship with different business cultures and social cultures and, operating conditions, which I think, help, you know, uh, make it so I can really customize solutions to, and scale to your situation. I am a, certified Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt. This is some of my clients here. And employers. We got like Hewlett Packard on here, Texas Instrument, Siemens, etc. Shell Oil Company, British Petroleum. Sometimes people say, well, you work for all these big companies and stuff, but I have worked for some of the larger companies, but the work I do is actually done at the site level. So it could be, I could be working for a company at, 60,000 employees worldwide, but the site that I'm working at could be, 50 people. Even though it could be some very large companies, and some of the sites are large, but then also some of the sites are very small. Right. So, I am able to, to scale it down to meet your business needs. All right, so this will be on slides you can look at. I won't go through it, but this is just some of the actually documented successes that uh, you know my team and I have had. And kind of the key here. This is what I'm a problem solver. So I go in there, help teach you how to assess. And actually, what I do is I'm going to during this course I'm going to teach you and your team how to be a problem solver. Okay, so then just kind of, sum up here, or not sum up, but kind of finalize here on myself. And I'm an author and educator. I'm a continuous learner. I can just show here just some of these word clouds here, kind of focusing on, the smart manufacturing, the Industry 4.0. Um, again, author and university educator. Here's two of the books that I have out now, available on Amazon. Uh, these books, the one on the left was actually published in 2019, 18, and the one on the right, 2019. So these are fresh new books, and actually the third book is it's in the final stages of production now. So it'll be, released this year, 2021. Right. So I have taught the last couple of semesters at a couple of universities, and not only did I teach at the university, but I developed courses. I developed a course in production inventory control, a course in material handling systems, and a course in project management. Now, I'm going to share one, proof of concept here with you very quickly, because I'm going into a lot of time here. But this was for a medical device, healthcare services. So the lead time was 87 days, by sea to Europe. Anyway, we were able to go through and then reduce that 87 days to 28 days. I reduced the inventory by 67%. The process lead time for the runners were reduced by 70%, improved productivity by 15%, and the key for all this was the differentiating manufacturing strategy and reducing product changeover time, so make the line more flexible. So I'll get into all that. Another proof of concept. Don't have time to get into it here, but if you request the slides, it'll be in here and you can look at it. All right. So now, finally, act now. Okay. So start your journey to world-class supply chain resiliencies. So after training, you'll have the knowledge to get started. I'll provide you all the templates needed for data collection and the corresponding analytics. So your transformation will be data-driven. And I want your team to be successful, so I'm going to provide you with all the support that you need to get there. Yeah, your success equals my success. All right, and so here again is my email address. I mean, uh, you don't have to wait to the course if you got some questions. You can set up a call or you can just drop me an email. All right, so the course offering, I've already gone through it. So the course is 6-week course with the will be the typical standard price of $12.97 for the course. Okay, which is definitely less than half of a typical operation consultant. A third of the consultant of McKinsey or whatever. And I definitely consider myself on the level there. And I actually have worked with McKinsey as folks. So anyway. 12.97. But bonus number one, you'll get the unlimited but reasonable email support. I mean, so you already give me my email address, and that's really priceless. I mean, that's where I think you get the biggest advantage if you utilize it. I mean, if you don't utilize it, you still get you'll get your money worth out of the just the online training. But if you got some questions, you can definitely reach out, and I will definitely support and help you. Bonus two is that guaranteed one-on-one hour, so that's probably about a $300 value. And and then like I said, I'm throwing this in added in here, and this is definitely priceless. Is during the 6 weeks ad hoc one-on-one schedule, as my schedule permits, which you know uh, should be no issues to give you the support you need. Okay, but if you act now, okay, right now, because I'm just, we're getting started, we want to get this, some traction going. I'm going to offer this, the total setup here for $697. So I'm going to knock almost 50% out. But I'm giving you a lot of extra bonuses that go along with it, particularly the email and the remote coaching. All right, so again, so act now. Uh, there's a call to action button down below. You can sign up for the course now. But if you still have questions, you can schedule a call, and then you have my email address there on the preceding slide, and then they got the subscribe button. You hit below, and I'll send you a copy of these slides. So this is satisfaction guaranteed anytime during the 14 days of the course that you feel like you're not receiving proper value. Uh, I said here, let me know and I'll fully refund your investment. But actually, a way that is set up on the on the site where you go in and actually provide the information for the 697. Uh, you can actually, you don't even have to contact me. You can just go in there and request a refund anytime during the first 14 days, and it will automatically give you a refund. So you don't have to contact me. You just request a refund, and it will be automatic. Right. But the reason, I mean, I'm confident that if you give this a try and you definitely utilize the remote resources, that you're going to be very happy with the results and you'll be very successful. So again, here's just summing it up. Give you all the remote assistance and let you have a 697. And thank you for attending this video today. And I really hope that I get the opportunity to work with you and your team. And I know that us working together, we can make you very successful. Again, thank you.